through any chart, right? You guys talking about Matic Polygon, right? So let's pick up Polygon real quick. Let me show you how to do this. First thing you do is just slide through your trends, see where you're at, go to your last big pump, right? Here's our last big pump right here. So what we want to do here is we're always on a 1 hour. So take a look at the 1 hour. First thing I want to do is see my green moon right here. My RSI, you see how the RSI is at the bottom right here? I'm putting a trend line there that's yellow to let me know that this is the green moon. This is the big pump that happened, and this is the one that really blew up, right? This is the one that really spiked. And what I want to do is actually move it here because this is the one that really took off, right? Now I'm checking the 1 hour. Now I'm going to move across because now I'm going to put a mark where I see a big short that happened, right? And right here, I can see that we got into a big short. My RSI was at the top of my 1 hour right here. So I'm going to go check this throughout the RSIs to see what the difference is in the pumps that make the difference. And this one should be actually here because that was the pump that actually made a nice little move up. Actually, this is right there. Okay, so now that I got this kind of marked out, let's go see. Let me show you what I'm talking about as far as like these big shorts. So here's another big short. We're going to mark this RSI right here. We're going to make it red, okay? And let me show you how important the RSI is what we call the relative strength index, okay? This is what you need to understand. Relative strength index into a market is how much buying pressure, how many sales or open blocks and stuff like that, leverage, price action, etc. that are happening. Can we see the indicator? Yeah, here the indicators right here, man. This is the relative strength index. This is our MACD. All right, so now that we have this marked out, let's go take a look as far as the breakdown on how this is all playing out, right? So let's move from the 1 hour. Next thing I want to see is what the 2 hour looks like, right? It should be relatively the same. Right here, the 2 hour is starting to bend down, relatively the same. The 1 hour is bouncing up, relatively the same. 1 hour is bouncing down. Here's the big move though, right here, right? This big move right here was when the 1 hour was bouncing up and the 2 hour had come off the top already, right? But we had positive volume here, right? This is the key here. We have positive volume right here. And the 2 hour was coming off the bottom, you know, a little bit harder over here. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark this 2 hour RSI with I'm going to do a blue because that's going to let me know where the 2 hour really made the impact on the moves that had happened, right? So this one was actually right here when the 2 hour broke down. All right. And the 2 hour right here. So that was the breakdown for the 2 hour, the pump on the 2 hour. This RSI right here was coming off the bottom, and that's where you can see that big pump came out of, is when the RSI on the 2 hour was all the way at the bottom. It came all the way to the top. And then from there, we can see the short starting to come in basically when the 2 hour broke, right? So that's a big key here. The 2 hour relative strength is showing that it is basically controlling a little bit of the moves that are happening out there. That's what we want to really take a look at is the RSIs, right? Relative strength index. I use the stochastic. All right, now let's take a look here. That's our short. The next pump came in here, right? This is the 1 hour pump. The 2 hour was at the 80 line, right? So at the 80 line, it was breaking up, which gave us a little bit of a pump. But once the 2 hour ended, then that was it, right? So this is how we can tell how long of a pump we're going to get. If we're looking at the 2 hour, when the 2 hour is at the bottom, we're able to get a lot more. So let's go take a look at right here, this blue line here. I want to see where the 1 hour was at the bottom. That's really what I want to take a look. So I'm going to go back to the 1 hour. All right, let's take a look here real quick, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. What up, brother? Who that? Bread Boy. What up, Bread Boy? All right, guys, let's take a look here. We're going to go on a little bit of journey here. So this is the 2 hour RSI bottom. The 1 hour had already bottomed out, and we're seeing that big move. Here's the pullback on the 1 hour, and that's where the 2 hour was already in its move. The 1 hour hit its bottom, and that's where we see our biggest pumps, right? So that's kind of like key, knowing that the 2 hour is starting its push. The 1 hour pulls back, gets a bounce, and makes its run. That's where we're seeing our biggest pumps, right? So that's something in common. This is how to use your relative strength indexes to basically go together, right? So the 2 hour, remember, look, see right here, the 1 hour is already filled up on the 2 hour. See at the top, it pulls back and then it starts to run here, right? Now let's go back and look at the 2 hours so you can see what's happening. So on the blue line, which is the 2 hour, we can see right here, the 2 hours at the bottom, but the 1 hour was oversold, right? The 1 hour pulled back here, and this is where we see the pullback of the 2 hour, and that's where we see the run. So what do we learn from this, right? What we learn is that we need the 2 hour starting to make its move, and as soon as the 2 hour gets above this moving average here, which is the 30 line, right? Which is the 30. There's a line that we put here. If you slide to the right, there's a little number that goes up and down. When you get to 30, you want to hit the little plus sign. You want to draw a line right there. That's what we have right here. Is this a 30 line? So when the 2 hour breaks through the 30 line, right? That is going to tell us that this is a positive trade for us to get into, and that's where we'd be looking for our big jumps. Now the king is here. As you see the 2 hour get up here and kind of play itself out, it does have a nice little run through this moment here. As soon as we get a green moon on the 2 hour, we can enter this trade with the 2 hour at the top here. And this is giving us this big move here. This is why using the farther or the longer time frames are so important, because they're the trigger points with all the data. The indicators are a lot better when they have a lot more information. Now, what I want to do here is I want to go to the 4 hour, because I want to see what the 4 hour is doing, right? I'm actually going to go through all of them. I want to see what the 3 hour is doing here, so I can kind of paint a picture. I want you guys to understand what's happening here. So this is where the 2 hour started up, right? Once again, this is also where the 3 hour started up. So the 3 hour and the 2 hour RSI are in the same predicaments at that moment right there. And then once they break the 30, you get the green moon. That's your buy. They both pull back at the same time. 3 hour and 2 hour completely exactly the same. Now let's go look at the 4 hour. Take a look at the 4 hour. As you can see here on the 4 hour, same thing as the 2 and the 3 hour. That is what makes this pump so great, is that the RSIs, the relative strength indexes, are actually coinciding right here. Here's the breakup. And what I want to see here is right there when that moon comes in, we do see the 4 hour breaking above the 30 right there. That gets you in a little bit later, and that's your pump. So no matter what, you should have been in Matic on an upward trend at $1.18, and you should have been riding that out. Now the question is, where do you ride that out to, right? Now the same thing comes down to here. This is where we're seeing the trend change, right? Right here, the 4 hour is down right here. Where's the break in the 4 hour? Right here. So the break in the 4 hour was actually the sell zone for this catalyst right here. This is the break in the 4 hour right here. This would be the sell zone right here. So I want to take this color here. I'm going to make this a different color here. I'm going to make this a color I can remember. It's going to be a yellow. Let's get this into something a little different. What do we want? Let's go green. Let's go green. Okay. So what that's going to let me know right there, that is the 4 hour come down, which is going to put you into the big short. That actually what happened. It went into a short. Here's the RSI dropping on the 4 hour. There's your red moon. There's your short position. And that position is riding out all the way through right now. And that's where we're at right now. So as that starts to ride out, you have a red trend. It's bouncing off the 200 right now. So Matic is now sitting on the moving average on the 4 hour RSI. But what more importantly right here, we just wanted to see the push up, right? So the push up really comes from when the 2 hour hits the bottom, the 1 hour does a reset, and then we enter a trade, because that's the strongest possibility in a trade. Once again, let me repeat that. When the 2 hour RSI bounces off the bottom and starts to cross the 30 line, and the 1 hour RSI had gone up and went down within that moment and hit the bottom and then started back up, that is the strongest trade. Okay, which would be this little opening right here, this little yellow bar. That is when the 1 hour has gone up, come down, and now it reset, and now it did its push. that is the biggest trades that we're seeing right now. That is the proper trade to wait for. And that's why inside the Discord, we have where you put the 1 hour RSI, the 1 hour trade is your job is to let us know, type in that trade. Anytime a coin has a 1 hour RSI, hit the bottom so that everyone can take a look at that coin. Now, the way to make sure that that coin is actually the coin to enter is if the 1 hour RSI is at the bottom, the 2 hour RSI must be heading up at that same time and breaking across that 30 line. And then that is a complete entry for a trade. And that is how that's done. And then you're basically rocking that out until you see a difference in the 4 hour bending down, which is right here. And that's the end of your trade after the 4 hour cycle comes in and starts to bend down. Okay, now let's go in here and take let me continue to take a deeper look here, because now that I know that where we're at with all that, I'm gonna start backing up back to the 1 hour, right? Now the 1 hour is what I'm taking a look at, because now I have this section here that tells me where I should have got out my trade. Now, once again, it is when the 1 hour does break down as well. And more importantly, we get a red moon, right? Now, we did have some red moons over here, but the difference is when we were getting these red moons. So here's our entry right here. Here's our 1 hour pullback entry right there. So 2 hour RSI is at the bottom. The 1 hour is at the top. It has to reset. It comes in resets. Get it? Okay, so let's walk through this so you guys understand what's happening here once again. And the guys, I'm being really thorough in this video because this video is like, oh my God, what are we doing tonight? What up, Nefo? So basically what we're doing right now is I'm just doing a video for the people that are in the Trading Academy. So guys, if you went to that website that's in the description and you're part of the Trading Academy, this is one of the videos that you'll be getting right now. So basically, here we see the 2 hour reset right here. Most important thing about the 2 hour reset is that basically lets us know that we now need the 1 hour to go through a reset position. It does, and this is our main trade. We would be entering this trade on the green moon, which is right here. This is your buy signal. Matic entry was a $1. The Matic buy-in signal came in right here. So Matic was a buy-in right here on this level here, which is basically $1.24, right? And that was rode out all the way up here. Now the difference here is when this red moon comes in, as we take a look at the RSI, we're pretty much halfway through this RSI right here. We have huge volume going on. The RSI is already printed more than 50% of the way down. So there is a lot of times guys will hold that position, let the RSI touch the bottom, and then allow it to come back up because the 2 hour is continuing to move up, right? So if we look at the 2 hour on this red moon, we'll see that the 2 hour is continuing to move up. This is a slight pullback, then it pushes again. Now this time it doesn't make it, it doesn't do its higher high. It doesn't make it up to its 100 level again. Green moon here, and then this prints a red moon. And when you see that print a shorter RSI move on the 1 hour and you see that bend, this is where you would take your profits for sure, because it failed to make a higher high, meaning that it's getting weak in volume. And also you can see right here that you're getting weak in volume, and your buyers are basically dunking out and your sellers are buying in. So that would be your cue right there, because it didn't get its higher high in to basically say, okay, you didn't even make it up here, you're going sideways, I'm out. So that's where you would sell, and at that point you would be out of that trade until the 1 hour resets itself. You get another green moon at this level here, and that will give you an ability to get back into a trade and run that trade all the way back up until the 2 hour bends down or the 4 hour bends down, which happens at this level right here, right? And that's your double trade. Those are the best trades. Now, personally, the only trade I would do here is probably this first trade, the 2 hour going up, the 1 hour resetting. I would enter on that green moon, and that would be the trade. I would run that up, take my profit right there, and that's pretty much it. I'd probably be out of that trade at that point. I don't normally go into trades twice, but on this thing here, where would I sell this trade? So for me, let me go ahead and mark this area here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark it to see where I want to put 2 lines in here. 1 second. Hmm. All right, so I'm just going to put my trend lines. All right, trend lines. Let's see, they don't have my sides in here. All right, so here, trend line. Okay, so I'm just going to mark the 1 hour trend entry, right? Because you can see right there the trend goes from red to green. And then I'm going to mark the end of that entry, right? I'm going to put it right here. Okay, now that is basically when that trend changes on the 1 hour, that's when you would sell out of your position, right? A lot of people say, man, when do I close a position if I'm going for the longest position? Well, as long as your RSI is running, your trend is running, if you're getting in this type of trade, you could hold this trade out all the way up until you get to that level. Me personally, I'm going to show you the difference in when you enter a 1 hour, if you should get out on a 30-minute, right? And I'm going to show you here. The 30-minute imitates the 1 hour with an entry and a close, right? The difference is the 30-minute would have closed here, right? So let's put that in there. The 30-minute trend changed right here, which is heavy selling volume at this moment here, which would have been the original time that I would have got out the trade. So normally for me, if I enter on a 1 hour, I'm selling or closing my trade on a 15-minute, okay, a 15-minute trend change, right? So I'm going to turn this white because that's the 30-minute one. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner because it's too thick. And I'm going to show you why the 15-minute would have been basically where I would be selling. And I'm going to put this up through here. And that'll be the 30-minute trend change right there. But that 30-minute lost money because you see how it came all the way down. So for me, that 30-minute lost money because that's at the bottom of the thing and it was already bouncing. So that's irrelevant to me. I would have lost that money there. So that's why for me, if you move to the 15-minute, right? And let's see where we're at here. Okay, this is why it's important to put these lines in here so that you can find yourself here, right? So let's take a look at the 15-minute, right? If I enter on the 1 hour buy, I'm selling on the 15-minute trend, right? Very simple. When the 15-minute trend goes red, I'm out. Here you go. 15-minute trend goes green right here. Boom, right? Now, if you're watching the 15-minute, you're going for this trade when this all happened, you probably wouldn't even got in this trade right here because you have a RSI that is pushing up. Now, what do we normally do? We allow the RSI to pull back, recalibrate, and then right here, as it pushes past the 30, we probably would have entered this trade right here for a safer trade if you're playing the 15-minute. Remember, the 15-minute RSI has to pull back and then go up. What do we have here? This is the 1 hour pullback right here, showing that right here, the 15 minutes starts up. So this is where you probably would have entered this trade off of the 1 hour RSI pullback. And then you would either be in right here, or if you got here late, right? So let's say you don't get into where this is, and by the time you see this trade, the 15-minute RSI is already at the top, which means it's oversold. You have to wait. You cannot enter this trade until the RSI starts to come down and either comes halfway down and bounces and then it starts back up, or wherever it pulls back down to, once it makes its move to break the 30 line, if it goes all the way to the bottom, once it breaks the 30 line, right? And that's what I mean by this right here, this 30 line right here. This is the 30 line, right? Which is this line right here. Once it breaks the 30 line, which it does right here, this is where you would enter the trade right here. This is the right time to enter this trade for the second time because you missed the first time. Okay, do you guys understand that? Bitcoin recorded a death cross on the weekly time frame for the first time ever. Absolutely. But we're not worried about that. We already know Bitcoin's going back down to 19,000. So we're not worried about that, bro. So right here, but it's good information, man. I appreciate you shouting that out. Right here would be the entry that we really want to get into, and this is our run up. Right now, let me tell you, I sell on the 15-minute trend. So once we got into this trade right here, we're rolling this trade out because the 1 hour, remember, we're in this trade because of the 1 hour setup. 1 hour RSI. Okay, so here, 2 hour RSI bounced up. The 1 hour RSI reset and started back up. Get it? 2 hour RSI starting up. 1 hour RSI went up, came down, and started up. That is an entry on the green moon. 1 hour RSI hit the bottom, started up after the 2 hour RSI. So step 1, 2 hour RSI bottomed out and started up. Step 2, 1 hour must bottom out and start up. Step 3, green moon, enter the trade. Go to 15 minutes. If the RSI is already oversold on the 15 minute, you will wait until the RSI comes down and either bounces and goes up or hits the bottom and breaks the 30 line and starts its way up. Period. Once you're in there, because you are entering this trade on a 1 hour time frame, you are using a leverage that is 50x, okay? Nothing less than a 50x. You can go 30x to 50x, but don't do nothing less than a 30. Not financial advice, it's just how we trade. 30x to a 50x. As we move forward here, and on this here, you can use up to your 80x too, perfectly fine. Now, as we move up here, as we go up, I do not get out of this trade until the 15-minute trend, see that trend right there, goes red. So that means that on this candle, I would be out of my trade. So on this candle, right, I would be out of my trade, which means I would be out at this level right about here. Right in that zone there. Now, what does that make me? Well, how much did that make me, right? And that's the most important thing that we look at is like, what's the profitability of that trade? Where are we getting in and out? That's the spot I would get out of, and then where I would get in. Let's go back here, take a look. Let's get in where we get in. Let's say you miss this buy-in, you wait for the pullback, you don't get into here. So we're gonna go, we're not gonna, you never want to overzealous a trade and try to give yourself too much momentum. You want to say worst case scenario, terrible entry. If I was terrible at what I did, would I make money? So we're going to go right in here and we'll say that you guys were really terrible getting in on this trade. Even at that spot in that position, you ride this up. This was a 12% trade, okay? This is why it's so important to use your indicators, but more importantly, understand the RSI. Right? The 2 hour RSI must bottom out and start up past the 30. The 1 hour RSI then has to top to the 1, come to the bottom, and then restart up. And then you enter on the 15-minute RSI as long as it's below the 60 mark, right? Below at least the 80 mark on the RSI. If it's already at the 80 position or above the 60 line heading up, then at that point I would just wait for the 15-minute RSI to hit the top, go sideways, come down, and reset, okay? If the RSI, if the 15-minute RSI is already oversold, or it has to be below the 60 line, right? The 60 line is right here. So that for me is the key, right? So that is the rule of how we trade. You guys understand? What up, my brother? Hit that like button, guys. I just dropped some huge alpha for you guys. You don't even need the indicators. If you listen to what I'm saying, you can use the RSI to understand how I trade so properly. The indicators in the academy, they're just bonuses in everything that you do. If you guys want to use these indicators and you want to use the exact system that I just showed you and laid out, make sure you go hit that website inside of literally the title of this live. Go check it out, dude. This is so simple, and we're going to retest this entire theory over and over, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make the videos on there, but this is what we're looking at, guys. This is the proper trade and how we do it. I'm streaming this right now. I'm going to stop it for the academy. Guys, we're going to post this video for you on inside the Discord. Watch it twice so you understand what I'm just talking about, and I'm going to continue to make videos here. We're going to move forward here and do another ratio. Yeah, I mean, you know, so for me personally, I can, you know, I can trade on certain things. So once again, let's recap. The 2 hour RSI has to be at the bottom headed up. The 1 hour RSI has to be at the bottom headed up. If the 1 hour RSI is already oversold, you wait for it to bounce, come back down. Secondly, when you go to enter the trade, you go to the 15-minute. What you're looking for is the 15-minute RSI to be below the 60 line so you can enter the trade. If it's above the 60 line or above the 80 line, you allow it to go to the top, reset, come back down, and start its way back up, or go all the way down and break the 30 line again, and then you would enter the trade. and that's your proper position. Now that you're entering on the 15-minute based off the 1 hour RSI and the 1 hour green moon, you are going to get out of the trade on the 15-minute trend, reversing its color. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, write that down. What is it looking like recently? We're going to take a look right now, guys. So let's slide over here now that we know that's what's happening out there. And we're going to take a quick peek here. And, you know, we just want to make sure that this is what's happening. Now I'm going to retest this theory. And this is where I'm going to go in here and take a look here as far as everything goes. This is the bounce that happened. And then that was the continuation of the run. As we already know, this is the 1 hour ending its theory. And now we're at this level here. So let's see what happened at this big green line here on the 2 hour RSI. So jumping to the 2 hour RSI, let's take a look at why we had a short or what happened or what was going on. Right here, bada boom, bada bing. Right here is what's happening. And this is our big short that started to happen. The 2 hour RSI was at its peak, right? So what happened is the 2 hour RSI hit its peak. Right here, the 2 hour hit its peak. It came down, right? That's where you normally would sell when the 2 hour overextends itself. It comes down, taps out, starts to move up, and now we're having this. We're going to make this a little bit bigger because what I'm going to show you is a little more in depth of a trade. We're going to make this orange, right? And what this basically is going to be is we're going to see, I'm going to make this orange too. We're going to see right here why the 2 hour was able to pull back, get us a pullback and continue a run, because right here, the king of the RSIs are the 1 and 4 hour. So let's go over here. I guarantee when we look at the 4 hour, that's when the 4 hour broke down. So now we slide over to the 4 hour RSI. Let's take a look. And lo and behold, right here is when the 4 hour broke and started to make its way down. And that's when we went into a short. Guys, listen what I'm telling you here. The 1 hour, the 1 hour RSI is the way to open and close, understand what trend you're in once you see where the 4 hour RSI is. And the 4 hour RSI is based on the 2 hour because it leads the 4 hour. Okay. So now once the 4 hour decides its movement, whether it's up or down, that is your trend, right? That's your trend for the day. So go back to that first trade that we got into, which was that big pump right here, which is our green line. When we go into this one here, we're taking a look. And we can see right here, this is when the 2 hour got hot, right? The 4 hour was already running smooth right here. So once you have a trade, here's your 2 hour. See how that works? Here's your 2 hour starting up. Your 4 hour was starting up at that time too, right? The 2 hour and the 4 hour RSI started up at the same time. And as they ran through, the closing was when the 4 hour finally got exhausted, right? When it finally came down and it broke below basically the 60 line, which is right here. And I'll put a 60 line so that you understand. The 60 line is right here. Boom. And I'm going to make that color orange. Okay, there we go. Once it broke that 60 line, it was over and it headed down. Okay, so that's the key. Where we get in here, the red 4 hour and the 2 hour RSI were on the way up. Then we used the 1 hour rebounce, retest, and then once it bottomed out, we made its run. Okay, now where are we at now, right? So let's take a look here. Where are we at now? So let's take a look at where we're at here. Maddox run, the 4 hour came all the way down. It's been on the floor the entire time. It made a little move up here. Once again, look at here. Here's your 2 hour move right here, right? So this is another trade. Now let's clean all this up because I want to kind of, I can use some of these things later, but I don't want them to be in my way as I'm starting to figure these out. Because this, let me show you how this entire concept works. All right, so now, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so now what I want to show you here is let's repeat this process and see where we're at as far as like how things are looking, what they look like, and how to find our trades and what we're doing. So once again, let me put this over here. So right here we see that there's a bounce in a trade here. What do we have that represents the same thing that we've been seeing? Let's go ahead and dig into our moons. Obviously, we have a green moon here, which is great. Green moons are awesome. They let you know when price action is humming. But in order for the green moons to be more effective, right, because we use high leverage trading, we don't want to do a lot of trades. We only want to do the trades that are high leverage and are highly, gonna basically highly profitable, right? And the way to do that is to get into leverage and to trades that are basically have more potential or percentage of winning, right? Because you don't want to log in right here. Let's go, man. You don't want to do trades that don't make money. All right, so basically here, what do we have? First thing I notice here is what? What's the thing? Here we go. Boom. We're going to turn this white thing right here. This white is going to say that that is a 4 hour. I'm going to turn that white into orange. That's the 4 hour coming off the bottom, right? And that's going to be right here as far as the trade section, right? Now I guarantee you when we slide over here to the 2 hour, the 2 hour is going to be in the same scenario, right? Here we go. Bada boom, bada bing. Now here's the difference. This is the best part, right? Let me show you. That monster trade had the 2 hour and the 4 hour both bottomed out. This trade has the 2 hour already coming across the 80 line, right? About the 70 line, right? Which means it's about 30 or actually about 50 to 60% of its volume has already been used. So you know right here that this push is going to be a minimal push because the 2 hours already at the top. So what you would do here is actually on this trade, I would look at this trade and know that I need to take profit right away because the RSI of the 2 hours already at the top. So now let's go take a look at the 1 hour to see how this plays out. The 1 hour trade, we slide across. The 1 hour is already bouncing and starting to head up. So because of this bounce and this head up, we know that we have to take our profits as soon as the 1 hour gets weak up here and starts to go sideways at all. That would be the sell. But since the 4 hour is moving up and the 2 hour is still moving up, it doesn't have a lot of space. This is going to be a very short move to the upside because the 2 hour is already almost oversold. But let me show you the beauty of this because this is still going to be a monster trade, right? So let's slide over here and let's get where we're in. 4 hours heading up, the 2 hours heading up. Now, but the 2 hours, let's mark the 2 hour properly and go through our flow here. This is very simple. Okay. You guys paying attention here? High percentage trades to allow us to use high leverage. That's right. That's exactly right, guys. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the follow. Hit the like. Guys, share the live real quick, guys. Share the live, right? Share the live. Get some love. All right, now listen. What I'm looking for here is the 2 hour, right? The 2 hour RSI is right here. And when the 4 hour is bending up, which is right here, we see that the 2 hour. So I want to go back here and look at the 4 hour. What's up, baby? I'm going to take a look at the 4 hour real quick because I want to be more accurate on the 4 hour because I feel like I'm not being accurate enough. The 4 hour actually started to make its way up at this level. I'm going to make this a 2 mark. That's right there is where the 4 hour started up. This I'm going to move over and I'm going to make this a number 2 so that I'm more accurate. So right here, as you guys can see, let me pull this up a little bit here. Let me rotate these down because I'm really focusing on the RSI right now and I want you guys to see what that is without these stupid little things popping up here. I don't know how to get rid of them, but if you do, let me know because I hate them. All right, so here, right here, the 4 hour RSI is coming off the bottom and it's starting up. So the first thing we need to do is go to the 2 hour to see where the 2 hour is. All right, here's your 2 hour. Now at that moment, the 2 hour is actually moving up as well, right? Now the 2 hour came off its bottom slightly before the 1 hour. I mean, like literally slightly before. All right, and we're gonna put this here. I'm gonna change this into a white color because I wanna go back and I wanna see how clear I can make a judgment call here. All right, so let's take a look here a little bit. So for me, once we have this entire level here and you see the 4 hour level out like that, what I'm looking for is what would trigger me to start thinking that I can get into a trade a little bit earlier or see if that, if this is a position that's kind of going to move. The fact that the 4 hour has been bottomed out for a while is kind of a hint to it's going to start moving. And then also looking at my MACD, I can see right here on the 4 hour the MACD is starting to slowly creep up, but it really comes down to this 4 hour there. So I don't know if we can jump the gun there. We don't want to jump the gun. We always want to use our indicators and make the right decision when the indicators are telling us. All right, so now we see our 2 hours start to bounce here. That right here is where we see the 4 hour start to bend, right? And we're already in here. So that's kind of where we're at there. And then we also have a green moon right here. So the 2 hour bends. The green moon kicks in, which is right here. Love the green moon. Here's your green moon. The green moon is letting us know that we do have a trade here on the 2 hour. Let me open this up a little bit here. Let's make sure we're looking at this. Here's your green moon. It pops in right there, which means you'd be looking at a trade as soon as the 4 hour starts to bend, which happens to be on this particular coin right here. Now, that being said, we need to now go look at the 1 hour to see what the 1 hour is saying. So once again, repeating the process of just following the system. So now, bada boom, da da dum, da da dum, da da dum, da da dum, da da dum. And this is how you break down a trade so you understand. So here I see that I have my 1 hour already oversold, right? So my 1 hour would have to pull back, and then right here is where the 1 hour bounces. So this is the trade right here that's looking like I would enter a trade off of this 1 hour bounce right here. So now let's pull this down, see where we're at, and go from there. So that means on this particular move right here, we would be entering on this bounce of the 1 hour. Why? Let's repeat the steps, right? Hold on. I get a text message here. Get that mug, Alpha, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. How you doing, VC, baby? How you doing, man? How you doing, my man? All right, guys, real quick, just give me 1 second. I got to validate some stuff. That's why I'm in, man. That's why I'm hot, baby. All right. Now, once again, what were the steps that we did here, guys? Let's tap the screen. Man, let's tap the screen, man. Let's go. Y'all getting some love here. What charts are we using? Right? What chart are you using? Right now we're using TradingView, man. We're using TradingView right now. All the indicators that you see here are part of the Academy. The green moons and all the things that we use, that comes with the Academy. If you're interested in making money in crypto or trading or anything like that, or learning how to get these trades, I'm just illustrating what the indicators show from the title inside the live, the TikTokCryptoTrading.com. These are all the indicators that are in a system, right? The TikTokCryptoTrading.com is a system. Okay, these indicators, they're free on, they're already put on TradingView. They're free to get. The system is where we combine all these indicators together. We adjust their settings and timings, and so that we can use them in a way that's profitable over and over. So that took about 1.5 years of testing, retesting, using different indicators, because we wanted to get to 3 indicators that would allow us to have people be able to use TradingView for free and only use 3 indicators until they started making money, and then they could upgrade to the pro version for $14 a month, and they could add some other indicators that we use as well. But this is really all that you need here to make money. So we were very efficient on what we did here. It took about a year to develop this system, and then the system of using margins on shorting and going long, we use a 30 to 50x to an 80x to increase our profits by 500%. So this way you are literally doubling your money every 10 days, right? So it's a 6-figure system that you get into with $100. You can literally get yourself to basically 30 to 60 grand pretty easily. So what we're doing here is just going over the system. So first system that we have to do is we have to locate the 4-hour RSI. When the 4-hour RSI bounces, bada boom, bada bing, we move into the 2-hour RSI to make sure the 2 hours also moving up. which it already is. So a lot of times you can look at the 2-hour RSI to give you a hint of what's happening or what future is going to happen. And then once the 4-hour changes its direction and lets you know what's going to happen, that's going to give you the interest of a trade. Then we go to the 1-hour RSI to see where it's bouncing, and this is basically the move. So here's your bounce off your 1-hour RSI. Here's your green moon. So we have a green moon. We have the retrace of the 1-hour RSI. So green moon, remember the green moon is already here. Here's your first 1-hour RSI right here. The first 1-hour RSI already happened right there. It bounced, the green moon came in, right? Which would have gave us a buy at this basic level here, which was still a good buy. The whole thing here is that the indicators are so accurate, we don't even have to take precaution or follow all the other steps. The steps that we're following are just to increase the percentage of victory, okay? Meaning, to increase the percentage, the law of average of winning, by increasing the percentages just means that less losses, more wins, bigger gains, right? Because we use leverage. Because we're using higher leverage, we need to be entering at the right time every single time, and this is how we ensure that we do that. The first 1-hour RSI, hit that like button, hit those tap button, guys. You guys are getting some alpha here, man. Ain't nobody gonna show you this type shit, man. This is super experienced trading. This is top of the line. So right here, you have a RSI 1-hour bounce at the bottom, right? This is where you put that in our Discord. We have a 1-hour trade room. You put that in there. Matic, 1-hour RSI at the bottom. Perfect. Second step, 2-hour RSI. Okay, 2-hour RSI is trying to bounce. Perfect. 4-hour RSI. Boom, 4-hour RSI bounces. Awesome. Let the 1-hour retrace. If it's oversold, it's oversold. It comes down. Here we go. This is the entry spot right here. Now, let me show you another key to this, is that at this moment here, this is the buying point for the 1 hour. What do we want to do? We want to go take a look at the 15-minute, and let's see what the 15-minute was doing at that particular time. At that particular time, on this trade, which happens to be right here, the 15-minute RSI was at the bottom. See what I'm saying? Right here. See that 15-minute RSI? It is at the bottom. You see this 15-minute RSI? At the bottom, right there. See it right there? At the bottom, right here. As soon as that RSI bounces and breaks the 30, which is right here, this is the entry, right? So this is the actual entry of this trade. Would have been right at this level here. Right there. And I'm going to turn this color pink. I'm going to make it a 2-piece. And that is basically there. And then even better, since we know that this is a go trade, to be super safe, the moment you see a green moon, which happens right here, that is when you enter the trade. So now that we have the exact entry that we need, we can use the leverage that we need to use. Everything went exactly as according to plan. And now let's go see basically how this all turned out on the 1 hour, right? Well, actually, let me take a look right here real quick. Bloop. So remember, we enter a trade 1 hour style. We're always taking profits. And I want to take a look here because what I'm looking at is like repeating patterns of success, right? This entry right here was a great entry. It pulls up. We get a red moon here, right? We go back. We come across, and once again, we get another bottomed out 15-minute RSI, a green moon and a green trend, and another re-entry. And we could have made 2 trades off this because we were pushing to the 200 moving average as we go along, right? 200 moving average, that ends up working out. And then what you would actually do is stay in this trade here, right? So the first trade we push up, we get a red moon, we're out of this trade, right? So out of the trade right here, red moon. When we get that green moon to come back in with the green trend again, we have another entry on this. And then at this point, we can hold this until we see a red moon again, which happens right here. So that to me is an interesting thing. So I'm going to go back here. I want to take a look here at that original trade that we were looking at, where we seen this big move here. And I wanted to see if there was some red moons in there. I mean, even on here, you could have traded off the red moons. So I use the trend, but I mean, the red moons do give you some extra trades here. So see here, you got a green moon, red moon, you trade out, green moon, you're back in, right? Red moon trades out right here. And then you go for a big run on this green moon right there, and then your red moon out. You know, there are some, you know, that it's kind of a bonus side right there. I mean, me personally, I usually trade out on the trend, which was the one way up here. So let's go back to this particular move here and see what we got here. See, this trend would have got you in, and that trend didn't hit an out till here, right? Which would have been a little bit of some points coming down there. So I would study this a little bit more to see what the difference is in those two particular trades, on why the moon here was more important than the trend, or why the trend stayed here. And then, you know, this is also another reason, guys, that we have a very clear system here. This is kind of the reason why extending a rally is really hard to do, or where taking profits are kind of like hard to see. Me personally, that's why I'm always in the 30%, 40% group. It's a profit taking thing, right? This right here, when we see this move, the moment I see a red candle, I'm normally out of a trade, right? As soon as I see a red candle, especially this one, pull down like that and go up, I get out. That's a big red candle, right? Now, if you go back over here to this other trade that we were in, I'll show you the difference in the candles. Right? So here's our move. We buy in here. These candles are coming along. They're really little candles. And then you get, these are like doji candles, right? So it's an inconsistency in the market. And then we get a big candle. So a lot of times I would sell on this candle right here, right? And then as I go along, then I would re-enter on this moon, right? So that's really the strategy for me. Would probably be the one that I think works higher percentages than everything else, was the moment you go from green candles on the 15, the moment you add a red candle print, that is when I sell. And at that point I hold off and I wait. If I get a red moon, I ride that out until I get a green moon, and then I re-enter. And then once again, I ride that up until I get a red candle, which is right here. I'm out. I already have a red moon, so it helps me out there. And then until that moment I'm riding through here, that is when you see this next two green candles, right? Two green candles. I probably wouldn't re-enter there. I would wait. I would probably re-enter on this green moon here, get a little bit of percent. Red print would come in, and then another green moon here, and I would ride that up. Now, there is one trade that doesn't go in my favor there, but 1 out of 3 trades isn't bad, because I hit these trades for really big amounts of money here. Key thing is your stop loss. Always keep your stop loss, you know, you're 10% behind. So I really wouldn't lose that much on a stop loss. But here I would get in, and then once again I would have a large trade, and then this second candle I would sell. So that's where I'm getting out of that trade there. It moves along, it's red candle, green candle comes in, buy signal, I'm getting another ride, I'm getting out here. Same thing, it just repeats, right? And that's kind of like the how to hold a rally. Me personally, you know, a lot of times you win some, you lose some. I do like the 1 hour getting in, holding the rally until you get that 15-minute red, right? Paid off really well here. And then over here, let's take a look here. We get in here, but the red rally doesn't pay off for us because it doesn't hit till here. But our stop loss would have triggered at that point. That's the bonus to the stop loss. So when a trade doesn't go our way, or the trend line doesn't go our way, we would have had a stop loss here. Remember, we always keep a stop loss literally 0.5% behind our money. So once this trade grew here, right, keep in mind, we're working on percentages. So let's take a look here and see where this percent is, right? So right here, you have an entry right here. So let's say you got in late. Once we hit this 1% mark, which is literally right here, we always put a stop loss at that 1% because that is literally a 50% gain. So this would have continued up, right? This would have got up to this medium level here at the top of that candle right there. All right, and remember, we always stay within a half a point, right? So when that got to 2%, our stop loss would have been moved up to the 1.5% gainer, right? Or you would have kept it at the 1%, hoping that you can catch a rally. But either way, once the money hits 1%, so how do you know what 1% is, VC? If you're doing a 50x and you see on your profit, it says 50% profit and you're doing a 50x, that's 1% move. If you're doing 80% X and you move 1%, then you're going to have 80% profit. Get it? 80 times 1, 80%. As soon as you see that number hit, you see the price of the coin, you put in your stop loss, that particular price, and you lock that shit in because you want that profit. So no matter what, and you always want to stay a half a point behind. So when this goes to 2%, you want to be moving your stop loss up to that 1.5% margin. So you would have got stop lossed out here anyway. So that would have stopped you out. So that's the key to having your stop loss. So me personally, I still like holding until the 15-minute trend. I do, because I do trade in and out a lot. A lot of times, as soon as I do get a red candle, I do jump out because I really try to be disciplined as far as sticking to as soon as I hit 50 to 80% gains, I just move on until I see another really good trade, right? But I know you guys, sometimes you guys are in trades a little bit longer, so I want to kind of go over a system that you can kind of put in your head to use, and then that way you're not making the mistake. Because if you're moving your stop loss properly, you're going to get stopped out anyways, and that's how you protect yourself, and always make sure you make that 50% to 75% gains, period. Now, when that trend went from green to red and then went back green again, and you hit that green moon with the RSI bottomed out and starting to come back up, at that point with the buy signal, or you don't even need the buy signal, with the moon right there, you could re-enter that trend again and say, okay, I'm going to ride this up again, because a good thing here is, I tell you guys in every video, the moving average, the 200 moving average, which is your orange line, is going to be a support or resistance most of the time. And we can see here, we're hitting that support side right there, or the resistance. And that is where, once you get that red candle, that is where you close the trade. And that's kind of where I would be. A lot of times, once again, let's say you're favoring the red trend. You would hold through this here and go all the way up. And this right here would basically put you on this move here. Once again, let's see if you get stopped out. So the rule of thumb is, you get in this trade, you're moving up, this trade goes up to 2.5%. Your stop loss would be at least the 2% mark, which is right about here, locked in at 2%, right? And that's slightly below your profit spot here. So you probably don't get stop lossed out here. So you more than likely, you can continue on here, and then when you get the red trend, you sell, and that would have gave you a nice little push there, somewhere in the vicinity of 3%. So either way, as long as you're moving your stop loss like you're supposed to, a lot of times guys get to 1.5%, they will lock their stop loss in there and wait for that next push, and then move it up. Once they break 3%, they move it to the 2% mark and kind of get in that position. And once they break 3.5%, they get up to 3%, and that's where they lock in their stop loss. So either way, these trades are working out exactly like they're supposed to. That's a couple ways to figure out how to maximize your profits. Now let's take a look at what we have here. So that all worked out. All right, so that's the theory. That's what we're keeping. And now let's move on and see where we're at as far as like on these other trades that we got right here. So currently, let's take a look at what's happening currently. We'll come back and look. All right, so very first thing, let's take a look at Matic and see where we're at here. India's banning crypto. What trend indicators are those? What up, Health Fusion? Yo, what's happening? What's up, user? Shout out to everybody. All right, guys, so we're going to get into some current trades here. What I want to do here real quick is take a look at this pump that just happened at 6 o'clock on the 26th today, right? So let's go take a look at this. This is a pretty nice pump coming off of the pump we just looked at. Let's reevaluate this and kind of see where we're at. And once again, what are we going to do? We're going to jump to the 4 hour, guys. Yo, what's happening? What's up, user? What's the first indicator? Guys, the first indicator on the bottom is called relative. VC, that 15-minute chart alone ain't no joke. What up, Shondell? Shondell has been crushing it. Shout out to Shondell, bro. I see your gains, man. I appreciate you. You're in the academy. You're doing well. We're making out some more videos right here. We're gonna get them out to you guys to make even more money. How do you get into? How do you get in for the $100? Oh dang, you are about to be the richest guy ever. People, listen up. He is about to repeat the steps. I am. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Okay, guys, tap the screen. All right, so let's see what we got here, guys. We're gonna basically repeat this, and now we're gonna do the same thing. Let's go ahead and take a look again to see where we're at, and just make sure that we're constantly in the same zone. So let me move that. Here's our 15 minutes right here. I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna move our main orange lines to the beginning. All right, and what we're gonna do here is just line this shit up, right? Let's just line this shit up. All right, let's start again. Okay, first things first, 4 hour, right? Bada boom, bada bing. Here's our 4 hour. It's starting to bend right here. You guys see this? Pay attention. Here's the steps, right? Write this shit down. Here's your 4 hour. It's 4 hour RSI starting to bend, right? There you go. There's your bend right there. You see that? Very simple, very sexy. It's a sexy bend right there. It's money. That's a money bend right there. That's money. That means you're making money, right? Shmoney, they say out there. Where's she from? Brooklyn. They shmoney, huh? I got to find my shmoney, right? All right, so now that we got that set up there, let's move this white over, and the white is going to be the 2 hour, right? So now let's go to the 2 hour, right? So first we check the 4 hour, and now we got to check the 2 hour, right? The 2 hour started right here, right? The 2 hour just lets us know that there's something happening, there's something popping, there's something coming up in the next what? This is, okay, remember, looking at a 2 hour time frame, every time frame that you look at is like looking at a time frame that gives you a visual into the next ×3. So 2 hours gives you a look into the next 6 hours. So let me show you an example here. So right here, you have the 2 hour saying at 2200 hours on the 24th that something was about to start jumping. Move over. Right, there you go. Remember, 2200 hours on the 23rd. That's basically 10 o'clock at night, right? On the 23rd. We go over here. What do we have? On the 23rd, right? Starts moving across. The 4 hours sliding behind it, but it triggers off here, and this is the 25th. No, that's the 21st. Oh, I'm sorry. Friday the 24th at 10 o'clock. This is Saturday the 25th at 2000 hours. So this is 8 o'clock. So 20 hours later, we start to see that 4 hours starting to interact, right? So there's some movement here, but you got to make sure the 4 hours always ready to go. Now the bonus here is where you see the 4 hours start to go up. Notice that the 2 hour went sideways, came down, and now it's bouncing and started to head up. Bada boom, bada bing. Step one, confirmed. We are in an up move. Next thing we are looking for, right, is going to be the 1 hour. Let's go ahead and get to the 1 hour, man. Repeating the steps to victory, right? Here we go. 2 hour, 4 hour, 4 hour hits. We go look at the 1 hour. What do we see at the 1 hour? Right here, the 1 hour is about to bounce. This is perfect. Not only is the 1 hour about to bounce, right? Not only is the 1 hour about to bounce right here, right? So let's slide over here, grab the 1 hour. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bam, bam, bada bum, bada bum, bada bum, bam, bam, bada. Right? That's the 1 hour. About to bounce right here with a green moon. There's the moon. Yes, sir. So now we have an entry point right there. Boom, right? All right, 15 minutes. I'll be right there. Yo, Shondell, take a look at the 4 hour RSI. Where's the 4 hour RSI on that play? All right, where am I at? 15 minute. Let's go to the 15 minute. Okay, now everything's lining up. We got the 15 minute. Now we're looking at what we're going to look at here, right? Lo and behold, what do we see, boys? What do we see? What do we see, boys? It all starts to line up. It all looking chunky. It's dinner time right here, boys. It's dinner time. Dinner is served, right? What do we got? What do we got here, boys? What do we got? We got the 15-minute RSI at the very bottom at the same time as the 1 hour, heading up, a green moon. Where's our entry? Right there. Boom. Oh my God. Oh my God. I swear, man. Oh my God. Yeah. But y'all say that shit too. Ready? Yo, y'all see that shit? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. What I got to do to get over this every single time, guys. All right, perfect. Now, everything lines up. Here's our red moon. You wait for the green trend, right? Here's your green moon. You can get in right there. That's your move right there, right? Let's say you take it extra slick. Let's say you wait for the green trend, right? Correct. These other indicators, right? You guys, the stochastic RSI, you guys should be using that in all your basic trades. All these other indicators that we use here in the academy are in the academy, right? To use the academy's indicators properly, you join the academy. There's a link right underneath my TikTok, under my following, my face. There's a little website. You go to that website and you can sign up to the academy. Like, you will learn how to take profits, make money, and do everything that you need to do, guys. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button, guys. Giving you like 100. This is a 6-figure training today, man. You guys are learning how to make 6 figures in trading right now. All right, come on now. Share that live. Share that live. Let's go. Share that vid. All right. So listen. Here's our entry, right? Let's take a look at this entry. We come in. We get in right here. Let's say we even wait for the green trend to come in, right? And that's basically after the 15-minute resets itself, or we get a positive volume, which is right here. So we're taking it extra safe. Positive volume happens right here, right? It's all the same. Here's your buy signal. Here's your trend signal. Everything looks good. You buy right there. You took longer to get in than you should. It's okay. And because we're on the 1 hour, we're going to sell on the red trend, right? Which is right here. Let's move this up. Red trend comes in right here at this candle. Right here, let's zoom it in. Red trend, price action dropped right here. Here's your candle. Let's drop that down. Let's say you would sell on this candle here. Very simple. You sell here. Okay, let's march this up. Let's see how much money you made today. Let's see how much you made today. Let's see how you did today, man. There you go. 4.7, right? 4.7% on that move, right? I don't know. If you're doing a 50x and you get a 4.7, that's 200%, right? It's actually 250% profit. So if you get 250% profit, that means you doubled your bag twice in the same day. One trade, guys. Guys, if you want to learn how to maximize profits, hit the link in my bio, guys. I don't know what you're waiting for. I'm constantly showing you how to do this. If you want to learn how to trade properly, get into indicators, do all that, join the academy, man. I go in there, I drop the videos, very easy to learn. You get all the instruction videos you need. This is so simple, guys, so simple. All right, and that right there is how to get in the trades. All right, so let's get into all right, let's slide down. Getting ready. What do you got? Perp. Let's go take a look at Perp for my man, Shondell. Perp. All right, let's take a look at Perp, USDT, live time. All right, Shondell's inside the academy. This is Perp, right? PER, PUSD, looking ready on a run on the 15-minute. All right, so let's take a look at the 15-minute. Let's see what Shondell is talking about right here. He's looking at the 15-minute. Here's the moon. Here's the green. Here's the red. It is about to do what's called a moon reset, which is a run. But now, before we get in this, we need to go check out the 4 hour, right? What's the first thing that we do? 4 hour RSI. Oh, snap, dude. Snap. We got a 4 hour RSI bottomed out and bending right here, right? Bada boom, bada bing. We're going to rotate 2 hour RSI. 2-hour RSI is pumping towards the 80. So this is going to run. It's just going to be a short-lived pump, right? So the 2 hours trying to pump here, but this is a weaker push, right? So let's get to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is bending down. So you cannot enter this long chandelle until this 1 hour RSI bounces and starts its way back up. Okay, that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the 1 hour RSI to actually bounce and make its way back up for perp. That would be the perp trade right now, guys. All right, that's what we got right now, guys. That's what we got. How much is it to get into the signals? Guys, to get in the signals, get into the academy, guys. Hit the link in my bio. Very simple. Go to TikTok. I'm underneath my face. You can see me right here. TikTok it up. Doom, doom, doom. Let me end this right here. But underneath TikTok, you're going to see this little link right here. Click that little link right there. It is the TikTok crypto things. So right now, wow, it actually dropped down, big dog. Help Fusion. Help Fusion. We dropped it down, bro. We dropped it down. Limited time, guys. We're going to do the next, I don't even know, man. We're going to do a couple more people at this level, but it's not going to last for a long time, guys. So get what you got to get, man. All right, so let me end this video for the streamers. But it is very simple. TikTok.